Hi and welcome to the training kitchen here at UK Harvest in Donington, where today we're going to be cooking some beautiful curried corn with any white fish of your choice. Now this dish is going to bring so many flavours from around the world together, and I really hope that you're going to enjoy making it and eating it. So eyes down, let's see what we're going to need for the whole board. So we've got 4 white fish fillets. Any white fish fillet, entirely up to you, your choice. We've got 4 beautiful corns on the cob. Then we've got a large onion that we've sliced. We've got a garlic clove which we've crushed. 1.5 tablespoons of medium-ish curry powder. If you like it hot and spicy, fire it up a little bit, that's cool. We've got 75 grams of dry rice per person. So for 4 of us, we've got 300 grams. We've got a tin of chopped tomatoes, a tin of coconut milk, some fresh coriander, lime and chilli. That's for the garnish. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to get some of these ingredients out of the hob so that we can get ourselves going. Move the fish back into the fridge for a minute, or onto the side. There we go. We're going to bring in a pan which has got water in it. Now, I'm lucky enough I've had this on a bit of a preheat so that you don't have to watch your pan boil. Going to bring that back up to the boil. And once that water's boiling, we're going to go in with our 4 beautiful fresh corn on the cob. Just going to go in whole with them, because when they're cooked, that's when we're going to bring them out, slightly cool them, and then strip all these kernels off of the cob. So that's coming back up to the boil, so they can go in. And I'm going to ask James, who's on our team behind the camera, if he can keep an eye on a clock, because I want those in there for about 10 minutes, mate, if that's okay. And whilst we're doing that, let's get on with making that spicy sauce and bringing everything together and infusing all those flavours. So we've got a wok. We're going to have that wok over a medium heat. So my hob goes up to number 9, so I'm going to go at 7. Glug of vegetable oil, any oil you want. Just get that warmed up, okay? We want that to warm up so the oil runs around the bottom of that wok a little bit, just to say, yes, I'm hot. We don't want it boiling though. We just want it nice and warm so that when our onions go in, we get a sizzle, not a spit at us of really hot oil. Okay? Now we can tell that, is that running? It's getting there. I might just give that another 30 seconds. Okay, so where we said any white fish, that's exactly what we mean. Whether it be sea bass, bassa, salmon, cod, whichever one you want. But it works beautifully with salmon and all sorts of fish as well. So just think about what you did. Just watch the cooking time on it. Okay, our oil is now hot, so back down onto the hot plate. In we go with our onion. Now that's just sizzles. That's all we want. We just wanted a sizzle. We didn't want a spit all over the place. And then just gently with a spoon, wooden spoon, just gently move that around. Now this bit is up to you. The longer you cook it for, the more caramelised it's going to get, but you don't want it burnt, okay? So coat all of your onion with oil. And if you want that caramel, you want the sugars from the onion to come through, just over a medium to low heat, just heat that through. It'll probably take you 8 to 10 minutes to do that. So I don't want mine to go that far because I'm not a great fan of that. So I'm going to stop mine or add the next ingredients after about 5 minutes. And that's when all of that onion has softened, has started to wilt, has gone a little bit translucent and pliable, and that's when I'm going with the garlic. Now I'm not going in with garlic now because my garlic would burn in the time it takes to cook the onion. Just going to turn my extractor up, so hopefully I don't fog up the other camera. So my corn on the cob, that's on. My onions, they're in the pan, they're softening. All of my other ingredients are ready. And this is so nice. This dish is great. It's a tray baked dish. So we're going to put it in a roasting tin or a deeper baking tray, whatever you've got, or a casserole dish. It's entirely up to you. And then it's going to go in the oven. Now your oven needs to be set to 180, which is gas mark 6 for anybody with a gas oven. And if you want to go and pop that on, that's all brilliant. That's a winner. James is keeping an eye on my 10-minute timer on my corn, but where I'm working this recipe and I know how long it takes, I'll know about when that time is as well. So my onion has started to soften. Brilliant. I'm going to go in with my garlic. In that goes. That clove of chopped up garlic, that's just going to give it another aromatic flavour and smell. Now, as soon as you can smell that garlic, that's when we're going to go in with the next ingredient. Now, that next ingredient is going to be our curry powder, and we're just going to cook that through. Now, it's important to cook through dry spices, because dried spices are exactly what they say on the tin. They're dried spices, so they do need cooking. I can smell my garlic, that's coming through lovely. So now, my tablespoon and a half of curry powder. This is where you can go hot or not. Mine's just a medium curry powder. I'm just going to mix that with all of that oil that's in there, with the juice from the onion, the juice which has come a little bit juice out of the garlic. And I'm just going to gently, this is over a medium heat, folks, just gently cook those spices through. And when you can feel the spices just coming and tickling the back of your throat, that's when you know they're getting cooked through. And that is when we're going to add our tomatoes and our coconut milk. So I can feel that now. So in go my tomatoes. Give that a good stir. Get those flavours all the way through that. Mix that through into the tomato. Any of the spices that had stuck to the bottom of the pan have come off by the process of deglazing the pan, which the tomatoes have just done. And then I'm going to follow that up with our coconut milk. Now this is going to add that creamy, sweet nature to our dish and works so beautifully with fish. It's an amazing combination. Coconut milk, tomatoes and fish. Absolutely gorgeous. So we're just going to put that in. We're going to mix that gently all together. And then all that we're going to do with that is we're going to simmer that for 5 to 8 minutes. So what that's going to allow us to do is keep an eye on our sweet corn, and about 2 minutes before this is ready, that will be ready. So I'm going to take the temperature on this pan back up so we get it to boil. And we want that to race in boil, so we want that to give us lots and lots and lots of bubbles. And when that happens, we're just going to bring that temperature back down a little bit and just sit it there just to simmer. Okay? So that is looking awesome. Whilst we're waiting for that, if we grab a roasting tin or a casserole or anything that's flat, what we're going to do is arrange our fish on there. So bring the fish back in. No need to line it, no need to do anything with it because the sauce is going to go all around it later. But what we'd like to do is just get our fish in there so that it's not touching each other. Because we want that sauce to go all the way around our beautiful fish so that those flavours can infuse. Now where you've just touched raw fish, whilst you're waiting for that to come up to the boil, give your hands a wash, get rid of everything that's dirty. Quick wash, get all of those juices off. If you've got anti-bac, use your anti-bac. And move my fish back out of the way. My pan is boiling. Everybody look at the pan, it's boiling. So now all that I want to do, I'm going to leave it uncovered because I want this to start to just get rid of some of that residual water, but leave me with a beautiful flavoured sauce. I'm going to leave it uncovered and I'm just going to take it back down to the top end of medium. So for me, the top end of medium, 7.5 out of 9, something like that. So let's just take that one down. There we go. So our sauce is on and bubbling. Our corn is on and cooking. Our tray is done, ready with our fish on it. And our oven is turned on and is at 180 degrees centigrade, gas mark 6. We're ready to go. And we're steaming everywhere over this downward camera. So let's see if we can get, without deafening everybody with the sound of our extractor, let's see if we can get some of that to go down the extractor rather than up into the camera. Now at this stage, looking at my corn, it's starting to go deeper in colour. That to me says it's cooking nicely. Okay, I reckon my corn's probably got 4 minutes, something like that, James. I'm looking for a bit of guidance. 4 minutes, 3 minutes to go. So that's good. Keep stirring that curry sauce. You can see it all coming together. You can see it thickening up lovely. What we're going to do with our corn when it comes out, we're going to take it, we're going to drain it, we're going to run it under some cold water just to start to cool it, so that we're in a position where we can then take the kernels off of that cob. But we want to be able to handle it, so that's why we want it slightly cooler. This is smelling amazing in my kitchen. Folks, I hope your kitchen's smelling amazing too. Rather than you watching me for 4 minutes going, what's he going on about? I'll see you in about 4 minutes when my corn's cooked. See you soon. Okay, and welcome back, guys. Right, my corn is cooked, okay? So I'm going to remove my corn from the heat. And then what I'm going to do, take it over to the sink. And I'm not going to drain it as drain it. I want the water kept because I want to use the water to do my rice. So what I'm going to do, in a sieve, just bring this over. Just going to gently take the corn out into my sieve. Keep the water, as I say, I want it for my rice. And then my corn, I'm just going to give it a little helping hand to cool just by covering it with some cold water so I can actually handle it in a couple of minutes' time. Because what we're going to do, we're going to strip the kernels off of the corn cob so that they can go in with our fish. This is going to make your dish taste superb. So, I can handle that, that's good. Leave my pot there, give them a little shaky shake. And we're going to come back over. I'm just going to set them to one side for a second. Whilst we have a look down on the board, looking at our lovely sauce. And as you can see, that's thickened beautifully, okay? So what we want to do, first step with that, bring back in our fish. Take it off of the heat source. And we're just going to take that sauce and we're just going to pour all over and around our fish, okay? Getting all of that onion, that garlic, that curry, the coconut milk, the tomato, all over our fish. And if you miss any bits, that's what a wooden spoon's for, okay? So that has started that off beautifully now. But the corn, I hear you say, the corn, what about the corn? The corn's coming. So, each corn cob that you get, we're going to stand it up, we're going to get a sharp knife, and we're just going to run that sharp knife down just to free all those kernels. Okay, and once we've freed the corn kernels, we're going to put those straight in with our fish. This is still really quite warm. If you need to actually cool it down, or alternatively get a fork and spike it, if your fingers aren't Teflon like mine, then that is all cool. Turn it round, go again. And we're going to do the same for all 4 of our corn cobs. And once we've done that, you guys can come back and see what we're going to do with all of this beautiful fresh corn. Okay, so we'll see you in a couple of minutes. See you soon. Okay, so I've managed to do all 4 of my corn cobs. So if we take a look down at the board, you'll see them. Here they are, 4 beautifully stripped corn cobs. We've got all that corn there. So what do we want to do with that corn? Well, we're going to add it to our fish, is what we're going to do with it. So, just lift our corn up. And then just gently, just sprinkle it all over the top. Get it in the sauce, get it on top of the fish, get it everywhere. The fish and the corn should complement each other in this dish, okay? All the way around. There's a lot of corn, but that's great. The nutrition in sweet corn, it's going to come through, it's going to add flavour, it's going to add sweetness, it's going to add joy to your dish. So that is our fish with curried corn ready to go in the oven. So, as we said, 180, gas mark 6, it's going to need about 18 to 20 minutes. So when we put this in, we're going to get that water back that we did our rice with. We're going to get that, which we did our rice with, which we did our sweet corn with. We're going to get the water back on the hob, and we're going to get it going, and we're going to cook the rice whilst this is in, and give it 18 to 20 minutes, folks, and we're eating. That's a bit of a bonus. Right, let's get this in the oven. So straight into an oven on 180, gas mark 6. Marvellous. Pan of boiling water. Bring it back over. Let's get that back on the heat, back on the bubble, because we're going to do our rice. So, what is our fail-safe method? So if you just think, get the water boiling, okay? Boil, boil, boil to start off with. Rice, basmati rice, normally on the packet it says 8 to 10 minutes. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the basmati rice straight into the boiling water for 30 seconds above the lowest end of the time scale. So we're going to give our basmati rice 8.5 minutes. We're going to bring it off the heat, we're going to drain it, we're going to soak it in cold water to stop it cooking. Then we're going to stuff it into a teacup and put it in the microwave so we get our little timbales of rice, make it a little bit of a restaurant touch. So our water, because we're using the same one as we did the sweet corn in, is pretty close to boiling if we take a look already. We've already got bubbles coming up through. Don't worry if it doesn't look perfectly clear. We're going to rinse our rice off afterwards so we haven't got a problem. Wait for that to get to a racing boil. It's not going to be long. Then we'll go in with our rice. Now some people say you've got to salt the water. That's all down to taste. I don't salt any of my water. I just want my food to cook. We can add seasoning afterwards. So once we're up there, just give that a stir just to make sure it isn't just stopping it boiling from the bottom. There we go, bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. Lots of steam, cameraman's hating me. Okay, I've got my bubbles, in goes my rice. Give it a stir. And in 8.5 minutes, that is going to be awesome. Okay, that is going to be exactly where we want it. Now we're going to let that come back up to the boil. As soon as you see that racing boil again, that's when we just bring it back down to that high end of medium, so 7.5 out of 9, something like that, just to simmer it through. We don't need to racing boil this rice all the time. If we do that, it's going to go everywhere. We don't want that to happen. So, eyes back down. You can see it's on a racing boil now. Bubbles everywhere. I'm just going to bring it down to 7.5. I'm going to leave that for 8.5 minutes, and then we're going to be near enough ready to eat. See you in about 8.5 minutes. Bye for now. Okay, so our rice has had its 8.5 minutes. So now it's time to drain it. So let's get our pan over to the sink. Make sure we've got a good strong grip of that. Okay, over we come. And then what we're going to do, we're going to drain that water straight out, get all of the rice into our sieve. Shake, shake, shake. Put out the way. And immediately we're going to cover it in cold water. Now the reason we're covering it in cold water, we want to stop it from cooking. We want to get that rice out of what the catering industry calls the danger zone. Now the danger zone isn't just something out of Top Gun. The danger zone is where bacteria can grow. And on rice that danger zone is quite big. So the quicker that we can get the rice cold and bring the temperature down below that danger zone, the better it is for us. So all of these myths, you can't reheat rice. You can, but you've got to do it properly. And I'll be showing you how to do that in just a minute, because actually I'm going to get this rice cold so that I can do the little chefy twist on it, and we can have a beautiful dinner that looks like it's been served in a top-notch restaurant. So, get your rice totally cold. So this could take about a minute, minute and a half to make sure you're really cold. And if you wanted to try just gently with your fingers, just lift the rice, make sure that in the middle it's cold as well, because that's normally a bit where you get a hot spot, and you don't want a hot spot. Okay, so my rice is cold. It's come out of that danger zone. That's brilliant news. So turn the tap off. Back over the top of my pan because I now need it to drain. I want that water to come out of my rice so I get individual pieces of rice rather than a clump of it. Okay? So whilst that's draining, we'll come back over to the hob, which we'll turn off because we don't need that on now. So our rice there is just going to sit now and drain, and if I lift it up you'll probably see there's still a lot of water coming through it. So we're just going to give it a shake. With a fork, we're just going to run a fork through it just to try and break any binds that have been made from the starch in the rice and the water. Just break those binds so that the water can run through. And by the time we've done this and we've got our rice hot again, because we're going to microwave our rice, we're going to go for 3.5 minutes on high in the microwave with our rice. By the time that's done, our fish that's in the oven should be pretty close too. Then we can plate up and garnish. So let's just make sure that we haven't got loads of water still coming out of this. Oh, there was a pocket. And once we know that we haven't got a load of water coming out of it, we're going to take a microwave safe teacup, a la dessert spoon, and we're just going to load the rice into the teacup and push it down as we go. Okay, so if you were going to do this for 4 people, so if 4 of you were eating, now is the time to do it. Get all 4 ready. I'm only going to do 1 because I'm only going to plate up 1 to show you. But if you guys want to get all 4 ready, and then when you come back, you can meet me, go into the microwave to show you what we're going to do. So you want them nice and full, and then when you get to the top, just gently press down with your fingers. The steam that's coming off of that, guys, as well, I've just put it onto a hot hob. That's why there's steam coming off it. The rice is really cold, absolutely cold. So you want 4 to look like that, folks. When you've got 4 looking like that, come back and join me, and we'll do the rest of this dish. And then it'll be time to eat. See you in a bit. Welcome back to the kitchen, guys. Right, you might have 4 of these mugs. I'm only doing 1 because I'm only plating up 1 portion now. I'm going to put mine in for 2.5-ish minutes. If you've got 4, you should get away with 3.5 to 4 minutes on high, depending on the strength of your microwave, the power of your microwave. Just double check it when you bring it out that they're hot all the way through. So our mug goes in, on high. I've given mine 2.5-ish minutes. Now this gives me time to get all the other fancy little bits together so I can plate this dish up and make it look restaurant quality. So what have I got and what am I going to use? Well, that's pretty simple. I've got some chopped up fresh coriander. I'm going to sprinkle that over the top of the curry. I've also got a little bit of sliced chilli. I'm going to dress the top of my rice with that. And I've got a lime wedge for everybody just to squeeze on the top because that's going to be beautiful. White plate, nice and round. So I'm going to put these over there. I'm going to get my fish out of the oven. And as I do that, I'm hoping when I get back over here, it might well have binged on that microwave. So across from my fish, let's go and have a look, see what we've got, shall we? So our fish has been in 18-20 minutes. It's been cooking away nicely. Uncovered, the sauce has thickened, the corn has gone charred on the top and soft in between. And if I bring that back over for you guys just to have a look at whilst I shut my oven door, hopefully if you're cooking along, yours looks a little bit similar to that. Now the reason I've taken that out of the oven is because that's still going to be cooking, okay? And I want it to carry on cooking. I want that sauce just to come down a little in temperature because that will add to thickness and add a little bit more oomph to my sauce. So that's why I've taken that out. Now the first thing that's going to go onto our plate is going to be our rice, and you will see why in just a second when that little white box hopefully will go bing. I think I've got about another minute left. So this dish, I've used any white fish. I've used cod, that was what I could get hold of today. But if you want to go with bassa, with sea bass, with any white fish you want, it works beautifully. If you want to use salmon, it works just as well. If you want to go in with prawns, just make sure they're cooked. Okay? You can do anything with this dish. If you want to make it smokier, just add a little bit of paprika. If you want to give it a bit more oomph, a bit more chili, go with a curry powder of a strength that you know you like, and you're on a winner of a dish. And you're using some beautiful fresh vegetables with those sweet corn cobs. Quite often, if you go to the supermarket, you find that sweet corn cobs are reducing in price, purely and simply because people don't know what to do with them. I've just shown you one really easy, simple thing to do with it. If you want to cook this again and we're out of season, so you can't get corn on the cob, drain a tin of sweet corn, does just the same job. Right, I'm going to check my rice. Ooh, my button's stuck. That is definitely, I think, cooked by the steam that's coming out of it. So gently lift your cup, bring that out, bring it back over to where we're plating up. So, my plate. This is where it all goes horribly, horribly wrong. My plate goes on top of my cup. I hold the cup, I turn the plate. I cross my fingers. I pretend that I'm at the seaside and I give it a little tap. And then I lift off my cup to reveal my beautiful tin bowl of rice. Now for the fish. Right, where did we put it? We put it in there somewhere. Oh, that's a piece of fish. So fish slice underneath. Get that piece of fish out. Slide that nicely, cleanly onto the plate. And then with a spoon, come back in, get some of that beautiful curried corn with the sauce, with the juice. Build that onto the side of the plate. Go all over the top with a little bit of juice. Move our dish out of the way. Give our plate a little wipe because we do want that restaurant finish. And then with our coriander, just a light sprinkle over the top. Our chilli, the contrasting colour. Form our little star on top of there. Oh, go back up. Little star on the top. Lime wedge can go next to it. And there you have it, folks. Curried corn with fish, timbale of basmati rice topped with chilli, and a lime wedge to squeeze. Have a fantastic time cooking this dish. Have an even better time eating this dish. We can't wait to see you soon. For more recipe inspiration, go to the UK Harvest website at www.ukharvest.org.uk, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.